Shinichi was sleeping peacefully in his room when suddenly a strange creature, known as a dark parasite, entered through his nose and tried to reach his brain to take control of his entire body. But Shinichi woke up just in time and sensed the movement inside him. Acting quickly, he pulled the parasite out and threw it away. But the parasite was relentless. It tried again, this time to enter through his hand and head straight to the brain. Thinking fast, Shinichi tied a rope tightly around his arm to stop its progress. Just then, his mother, Noriko, entered the room. Panicking, Shinichi told her something had entered his hand. She checked but saw nothing. Assuming he had a fever, she scolded him and left. Shinichi was confused. The parasite was no longer visible. What he didn't know was that it had now completely settled in his hand. These parasites came from the sky at night, intending to take over human brains and control their bodies to eventually consume other humans. Elsewhere, another parasite entered a man's brain, took control, and in the morning brutally devoured his wife's head. Shinichi, a high school student, began noticing odd behavior in his hand. While playing basketball, his hand caught the ball on its own and threw it into the basket. Another time, while in class, when he bent to pick up a fallen eraser, his hand stretched unnaturally and grabbed it. One day, while walking with his female friend, his hand touched her inappropriately. Deeply embarrassed, he went home and started searching online about his hand's strange behavior. Finding nothing, he tried cutting his hand with a knife, only for the parasite to emerge. Terrified, Shinichi asked what it was, but couldn't understand its language. The parasite read books and learned to speak human language. The two became linked. Shinichi no longer wanted to cut off his hand and allowed the parasite to stay. He named the parasite Mijai, right hand, and gave it books to study human life and behavior. Meanwhile, the man-possessed parasite named Ian continued his spree, killing and eating more humans. One day, while on a bus, Mijai sensed another parasite nearby. Shinichi didn't want to investigate, but Mijai dragged him along. They found a parasite eating a human. It noticed them and attacked. Realizing it would kill Shinichi, Mijai used his powers to decapitate it. They returned home safely, but Shinichi grew concerned for humanity. Mijai explained how parasites functioned, their strengths and weaknesses. They could transform into sharp weapons and mimic shapes. Mijai warned Shinichi that if he died, Mijai would die too, since he lived off Shinichi's nutrients. Later, Mijai sensed another parasite, Shinichi's new teacher, Reiko Tamura. She stared at him and realized he was also linked to a parasite. Reiko later invited Mijai to meet her. Fascinated by her human-like behavior, Mijai agreed. At the meeting, Mijai discovered she lived with two other parasites. Reiko was smarter and studying humans to understand and blend in. She revealed she was pregnant and wanted to see what a child from a human-parasite mix would be like. She asked Mijai for help and left. Afterward, Mijai warned Shinichi that Mr. A, one of Reiko's partners, was extremely dangerous. Reiko and her group returned home and feasted on human flesh. They decided to use Shinichi and Mijai for research and then kill them. Shinichi's personal life worsened. He couldn't connect with his mother. After an argument, he left home. His mother, worried, searched for him. That night, Mijai sensed Mr. A approaching. Shinichi tried to flee, but Mr. A chased him. With no escape, a brutal battle began. Mr. A was powerful, and Mijai struggled to protect Shinichi. Following Mijai's advice, Shinichi stabbed Mr. A's heart with an iron rod, weakening him. Feeling guilty about killing a human-shaped creature, Shinichi walked away. Mr. A, still alive, needed a new host and found Shinichi's mother, Noriko. When she came to help him, the parasite took over her body. Later, Mijai sensed another parasite, When it entered, Shinichi was shocked. It was his mother. Mijai explained it wasn't her anymore, but Shinichi couldn't accept this. As he stood frozen, Mr. A, inside Nariko, attacked and pierced Shinichi's heart. Mijai quickly reacted, entering Shinichi's chest and restarting his heart using his own cells. The next morning, Shinichi woke up and ran to the mirror. He was no longer the same. Mijai revealed he had merged with his heart to save him. Now alive, Shinichi thanked Mijai and cried over his mother's death. Outside, he ran into his friend Satomi Murano, who liked him. But overwhelmed with grief, he ignored her. Determined for revenge, Shinichi visited Reiko and told her about the fight with Mr. Hay. Reiko was skeptical and attacked, but sensed Shinichi had changed, physically and emotionally, so she backed off. Later, sitting by his mother's painting, Shinichi vowed to find and kill Mr. A. Meanwhile, the police investigated the recent deaths. One officer mentioned the killer was not human. Mijai sensed another parasite. They discovered a politician, Takashi Hirakawa, had been taken over. At home, Mijai explained that the parasites were forming a group, seeing humans as a threat and planning to exterminate them. Shinichi vowed, "Humans aren't that weak." Soon, the police visited to question him about recent deaths, but he gave no answers. At school, Satomi tried to talk to him, but he ignored her. A new student, Shimada, joined school, another parasite. He shook Shinichi's hand aggressively, and Shinichi responded with equal force. Shimada then reported to Reiko, saying Shinichi's strength had increased due to Mijai. At home, Mijai told Shinichi his cells had fused with Shinichi's body during the heart repair. Now Mijai needed more sleep and warned that even in battle, he might doze off. One morning, Satomi took Shinichi out for a walk. On their way back, they found a dead puppy. Shinichi, showing no emotion, threw it into a bin. Disgusted, Satomi walked away, suspicious of his changing nature. Mijai told him his emotions were fading. Shinichi later spoke to Reiko about leaving school. She replied that eventually, she'd have to leave too, or chaos would erupt. At an art gallery, Satomi and her friends invited Shimada for a sketch session. But when a girl tugged his hair, it moved strangely. Terrified, the girls realized he wasn't human. Shimada attacked, killing them one by one. Satomi threw acid in his eyes, blinding him. Now enraged, Shimada attacked blindly. Hearing screams, Shinichi rushed in, saw the carnage, and searched for Satomi. Hiding in a closet, she was found and attacked. But just in time, Shinichi arrived and fought Shimada. Reiko appeared as Shimada begged for help. She refused and threw a bomb, creating a huge explosion. Shinichi grabbed Satomi and jumped off the roof as the bomb went off. But Shimada survived and slaughtered the arriving police. Mijai alerted Shinichi that Shimada was heading to the roof. They climbed up and using an iron rod fashioned as a bow, Mijai shot Shimada in the head, finally killing him. Shinichi then went to Reiko, who gave him Mr. A's location, the parasite who took his mother. Burning with revenge, Shinichi reached the spot. Mr. A recognized him and lured him under a deserted bridge. Just as Mijai prepared to attack, he suddenly fell asleep. Before sleeping, he turned into a sword so Shinichi could continue the fight. Mr. A attacked, but Shinichi, now stronger and faster, dodged and countered every move. Finally, he beheaded Mr. A, avenging his mother. In the final scenes, we see a new villain, Takashi Hirakawa, now a mayor, but secretly a parasite. Alongside him is Goto, a powerful parasite disguised as a special forces officer. Goto will return as the main villain in Part 2. Meanwhile, Shinichi is no longer fully human. He's part parasite, stronger and emotionally colder. In the hospital, He meets Satomi and promises, "I'll hunt down every last parasite and destroy them." But what he doesn't know is, someone is watching his every move. The end.